I have the computer just over here so that I can see the clock. We're going to aim for 1 hour. Let's bring hands together, feet together. Inhale. Lower your arms, exhale. Reach up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. Let's step to plank for the exhale. Stay in plank, inhale. Bend the elbows, exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. Wiggle out however you need to. Throughout the class, I'll change my direction on my mat based on if I need a wall or a dog is in my path. After your next exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale when we get there. Fold, exhale. Rise up, inhale. Arms by the sides, exhale. Again, reach up, inhale. Fold, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. Find your plank again, exhale. Stay in plank, inhale. Thumbs and pointers move toward one another, bend the elbows, exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Keep your mind on your hands and fingers. Because later when we go to some forearm balances, you are going to need to know whether your fingers are pulling you or pushing you. They're going to take a little extra weight. After the exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale when you're there. Fold, exhale. Rise up, inhale. Savasana, exhale. One more time, just like that. Inhale. Belly in. Exhale, fold. Keep the belly drawing in. Halfway up, inhale. Find your plank for your exhale. Arms are straight, drawing in toward one another, toward the midline. Exhale for chaturanga. Inhale for upward facing. Exhale for downward facing. Strong quads, heels pressing down, toes spread out. Okay, after your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale when you get there. Fold, exhale. Rise up, inhale. Arms by our sides, exhale. For Kapotasana, knees bend, reach up, inhale. Fold as you straighten the legs, exhale. Inhale halfway up. Find your plank again, exhale. Stay in plank for your inhale. We'll press to down dog B for the exhale. Butt up, elbows down. Return to plank for your inhale. Arms straight, face forward. Exhale for down dog B. You drop the head, you see your ankles. Inhale for straight arm plank. Okay, it's just maybe 12 or 18 inches in front of your fingers. One more time like this. Keep your elbows drawing in. The next time you wind up in plank, exhale for chaturanga. Inhale for upward facing. Exhale for downward facing. Right foot forward. Warrior one, holding opposite elbows. We'll pull the elbows back. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Think of also lifting your forearms up toward the ceiling so that you get a little more space. And we'll lower the hands for chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Left foot forward, warrior one. If you have any back issues, make it a high lunge instead, or your back foot faces forward instead of the diagonal. Okay, exhale for the hands flat, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Let's go right into B. So we'll start bending the elbows just a few inches. And see the difference between your elbows pointing out to the side versus pointing down toward the floor, almost toward your back ankles. And lower the elbows a little more, and then a little more until they're on the floor, and hopefully they landed behind your wrists so that your forearms are not in a V shape, they're in a parallel shape. Take one more breath, head is off the ground. If your head is clunking into the floor, you need to use your hands to push your chest toward your legs more. Okay, let's re-straighten the arms. After your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale when you get there. Fold, exhale. Bend into the knees, Kapotasana. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Let's palms together this and bend the elbows. So our thumbs come to the back of the neck. The elbows are in, so our forearms are against the back of the head. So let's push our head into our forearms, open the throat. Take one more breath, find your mula bandha, sitting bones toward one another. Inhale for arms up. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. And let's just go for chaturanga here. Jump it or step it back, bend the elbows. Inhale, chest up. Down dog, exhale. Right foot forward. Warrior one. Inhale, arms up. And we'll do the same arm thing from Kapotasana. Bend the elbows. If your elbows go super wide here, this would be wide, this would be in. If they're real wide, you're not going to be able to feel your arm in the socket settling in. So make sure the elbows stay about shoulder width. Okay, exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, lower down. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, downward up. Left foot forward. Reach up, inhale. Bend the elbows. So in a way, this imitates our Kapotasana position. Not quite, but it's close. It's a helpful prep for it. Okay, and let's lower the hands for an exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. I'm going to spin around because I see on my little computer that sometimes I'm getting lost behind this pillar thing. So let's go to down dog B. Elbows again behind the wrists. This time we're going to step the right foot forward a little bit, lean the shoulders forward, and we'll pick up with the left leg into Pincha. Then we'll come down with the left leg and find down dog B again. Then we'll change sides. Left foot steps in, our shoulders rock forward, right leg kicks up, left leg joins right foot comes down, and then left foot comes in. If you want to try that again right now, just pause the video. Try it as many times as you want. Then let's re-straighten the arms. And after your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale there. Fold, exhale. Bend into the knees. Kapotasana. Inhale. And let's just straighten the legs. Kapotasana again. And this time when you straighten the legs, find your cactus arms. And again, Kapotasana, arms up. Straighten the legs, cactus arms. So I want you to feel your upper back working. We'll just do one more. And we'll meet in Kapotasana, arms up. And straighten the legs as you fold. Exhale. Halfway up, inhale. Step or jump back. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Right foot forward, this time Anjaneyasana. Hands to that right knee. Nudge the knee forward. So your chest can move away from the knee. Either stay here or right arm up, bend the elbow. So that your right elbow faces the ceiling. Either stay there or left arm to the side, roll the shoulder forward, bend the elbow, so the left elbow faces the floor. Press the head gently back, like the back of the head moving back, where your skull meets your neck. Okay, let's release the fingertips down. Curl the back toes, high lunge, back knee up. We're just going to straighten the right leg. Inhale. Bend again, exhale. 2 more times. Inhale, straight. Exhale, bend. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. Palms down, plank, inhale. Chaturanga for your exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Left foot forward. For Anjaneyasana, side 2. So first, just getting the hands to help you move the knee forward. And lift your chest up so you can get your shoulders back. I have sweat kind of dripping everywhere, splashing on my head. Okay, when you're ready, left arm up and over. If you did this on the other side. Right arm out. Roll the shoulder forward and come around. I never practiced with only a sports bra on, but I did not really have any clothes at the house that I'm recording from. Okay, let's slowly release the arms. Fingertips down to the sides of the left foot on either side. Straighten the right leg. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, bend it. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 1 more time. A straight leg gives you an opportunity to wipe sweat onto the shin bone. And we'll bend the knee. And palms down, step back. Vinyasa. From downward dog, again, we're going to come into down dog B. We're going to do the same leg thing that you did before. Right foot will step in just a bit. Shoulders lean forward. Pick up with the left. Bring the right leg up to meet it. Bring the left leg down. And then the right foot. Then the other side, left foot step in. Shoulders shift. Right leg lifts. Left leg meets it. Right leg down, left leg down. We'll re-straighten the arms to normal downward dog. And after your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Then the knees, Utkatasana, inhale. Savasana, exhale. Separate the feet, hips width, hands to hips, inhale. And fold forward, exhale. Reach for the big toes, inhale. Exhale to fold, Anjaneyasana. Roll the shoulders up toward the ceiling. That would be away from your ears. Just 1 more breath here. Next, inhale, straighten the arms. Slide the hands under the feet, exhale. Inhale again, and refold with this new hand position. Which you might find it's a little trickier to get the shoulders to move. A little more of a claustrophobic pose. One more breath. Okay, inhale, straight arms. Hands to hips, exhale. Rise up, inhale. Feet together, exhale. I'm running to the other side of my mat again. Okay, we'll step out with the right foot. Just open up to the side for triangle, reach out and down. Right hand to that yogi toe lock grip on the big toe, if you can. Keep pressing the ball of your right foot down. Then you'll be able to lean your left shoulder back without fearing that you're going to fall. Stone core, inhale your way up. We're going to bend that right leg, scoot the left foot back a few more inches for Kapotasana. So we're going to stay open. Right hand either to the thigh or to the floor, left arm out over the ear, or you can practice binding here if binding is your issue, something that you need to work on. But regardless of what your arms are doing, you want to feel your left foot firmly rooted into the floor. Okay, let's lower both hands. Lower the left knee, hands to the right knee like you did before. You can keep your hands here. You can repeat the Kapotasana arms we did earlier, or take robot arms. Roll the shoulders forward and then up to your ears and then back. So it feels like your elbows reach to the wall behind you, then fingertips down under your hips. Notice the difference between this. If I lean forward, obviously I can get my hands down easily, but instead we're leaning back and then getting the hands down. So it's much harder. If your hands don't touch, just let them dangle. Okay, hands to the floor, step back, vinyasa. From downward dog, step or jump forward. Inhale. Hold, exhale. Rise all the way up, however you want to. You can reverse swan dive or roll, and then hands by your side so that you can step your left foot back. Or triangle. We'll reach out over that left leg and lower the hand. One more breath. You don't have a lot of weight bearing down on that left arm. It's actually more of a pulling up. Let's use that up feeling to rise up. So it's your core lifting you. It's not a pushing of your hand. Rebend that left leg. Widen your stance a little bit for warrior two shape. And then Kapotasana, whatever version you did on side one. We want a straight line from the back foot to the right hand, or if you're in a bind, go to your head. So there's not a rainbow shape of the body, it's more of a straight shape. One more breath. We'll lower that right hand down, lower the right knee down, hands to the left knee, Anjayasana. So settle in, the hips are sinking here, but it's not a feeling of losing control. You're still squeezing the thighs. If you only sink, you're going to point to a diagonal. That's not going to serve you. So squeeze your legs, then decide about your arms. If you're letting your fingertips come all the way to the floor, if it's easy with your palms facing in, try it with your palms facing out. And then it's like your thumbs are angled toward your feet and your back foot. back of your mat. I shouldn't say feet because your feet are in different spots. The thumbs are angled towards the back of your mat. Okay, and slowly release, hands down, step back, vinyasa. Stay here for a moment. I need to run and get a sweat towel because it's too much. I have sweat dripping in my mouth, and I can't talk like that. Okay. From downward dog, let's bring the right foot forward and the left knee down. So we're again in Anjaneyasana, like you've done millions of times. Left arm up and over. Hook your left arm outside of your right thigh. Lift your back knee if you can. Lower your back heel if you can. Lower your left hand if you can. Reach your right arm out if you can. So you just get off the train at any stop that suits you, or you could be practicing vines. Let's untwist. Scoot the left leg in about 8 inches, straighten both legs, retwist for triangle, twisted triangle. Left hand down on the floor, the shin or the block, right arm up. Okay, let's untwist. Quarter turn to the left. Kapotasana A. Hands between the heels, inhale. Head down, exhale. Again, get my sweat towel. Because when you go upside down, the sweat starts to go the other direction. That's usually why I like to wear shirts. It keeps the sweat a little bit more contained. Okay, let's come halfway up for an inhale. Hands to the hips, exhale. And then the rest of the way up, inhale. Arms out to the side. Hands to the hips again. This is just to buy you some time so you don't get dizzy. Chest up, inhale. And let's fold forward. This time we're going to bring our forearms down and interlace the fingers for Backbend Savasana A. So we're just going to work the aspect of straddle. We'll rock onto the tippy toes. We'll lift the legs. We'll just lift them as high as we want. You can keep them real close to the floor, especially if you feel like maybe you would be tipping over. Then we'll widen the feet again, and we're going to return to the straddle and go real slow in the bottom 12 inches so that you can round your back enough to get your feet to land where they came from. When you get your feet down, release your hands. Let's bring them to the hips. And we'll use an inhale to come up nice and slow. You might need a series of breaths. And let's just step to the top of the mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Step or jump chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. We'll bring the left foot forward. Anjaneyasana. Right knee is down. And we're coming into the twist. I'm just moving back because I know that wall is going to be an issue for my arm. So when you're ready, right arm up and over. Back knee up. Back heel down. Right hand down. Left arm over the ear. And whatever you wound up doing with your arms and foot, try to keep your left hip swinging back. Almost like your left hip wants to go touch your right foot. Let's untwist. Scoot your right foot in a bit. Twist to triangle. Right hand down. Left hand up. unravel, quarter turn to the side, or Pratisara to D. Reach with the big toes, inhale, head down, exhale. And remember that Kapotasana that you did earlier, and I was telling you to get your shoulders away from your ears up toward the ceiling. The exact same thing here. And it almost feels like you're trying to pull your big toe off your foot. Come halfway up, inhale. Hands to hips, exhale. Come the rest of the way up, inhale. Stay there, exhale. Arms out, inhale. Hands to hips again, exhale. Lift the chest, inhale, and let's fold forward, exhale. This time, hands to the floor, elbows to the floor. We're gonna go for Backbend C. So forearms flat, palms flat, forearms parallel to one another, and then the same thing with the legs. We'll come to tippy toes, and then we'll press into the hands so much that our feet can lift. And you're going to start to feel how important the fingers are. Start to lower the legs. Go slow in the bottom 12 inches. When you're ready, come halfway up. Put hands on the hips, come the rest of the way up. And we'll just step to the top of the mat again. Let's bring the arms to cactus. And we'll keep the elbows where they are. Just lower the fingers and lift. Lower. And lower, and bring the hands behind you. Reverse prayer. Then step our right foot back and pivot. Face the back edge of the mat, chest up, inhale, and fold over that right leg. Kapotasana, we're pushing into the ball of the right foot. Elbows are moving toward one another. Take one more breath. This is great for the shoulders and the rotation. Use the core and rise up. We're going to step that left foot further back for Anjaneyasana. And we'll either keep this prayer position and use the edge of the hand to nudge our chest up, or just take hold of opposite elbows and lean yourself back over your forearms. Take one more breath. And hands will come down, and we'll walk our back leg back for Hanumanasana, split. Okay, let's start to move our back knee in again. And let's rise to our high lunge so that we can turn around to the other side. And as we're turning, we can flip our hands again into reverse prayer. Adjust your feet, inhale, hold, exhale. Rise up, step back with that left foot, lower the knee, and drape yourself over either the forearm or the edge of your hand. So you're getting your chest to lift up. We will be coming into Kapotasana at some point. So we need our chest to know how to lift. Okay, release the fingers, and let's walk ourselves back into Hanumanasana. Oops. My Band-Aid off my ankle. My stingray wound is still a wound. It must have been so deep because it's like 2 weeks later. It's still, I have to clean it and wear Band-Aids. Okay, I'm going to start to move the legs closer together so that we can step back and vinyasa. facing a weird way on your mat, then feel free to spin around. I don't really have a front of my mat, so I can't even keep track of what that would be. Okay, we're gonna come through to sitting. I'm gonna lay this little towel down on my mat to collect my sweat. Okay, so take out any bun or ponytail so that your head can be flat. We're gonna have our feet parallel to each other, and the heels you can just graze them with your fingers. Let's squish the spine into the floor, and you're gonna feel then that your pubic bone rises up. Let's start to peel our hips up off the floor, and let the spine rise until we have a straight line from the shoulders to the knees. And you should feel like your legs are working very hard. They're squeezing to keep your knees in line with your hips. Your butt is working to keep your hips up. And let's just roll ourselves down. Nice and slow. Once you get down there, take a breath and start to roll up again. So you smush your spine into the floor and then start to peel up. Nice and smooth. And once you're up there, lift your right heel. And keeping the hips still, lower the right and lift the left. Lower the left and lift the right. So just alternate at your pace. Don't let the hips drop. Try not to shift right to left either. The hips are still going to just face the ceiling. Doesn't matter which heel is down, the hips are facing up. Okay, then let's get both heels up and start to roll yourself down to your back. Once your back is down there, lower the heels, take a breath, the rest. And we're just going to do one more variation. Again, spine imprints down, and we'll start to peel ourselves up. And once you get to that straight line from shoulders to knees, we're going to let the heels come up, and we're going to let the knees open out to the side, and then come in again. And as you do this, don't let the hips drop. It's very tempting that as soon as the knees go out, we drop our butts, but don't let that happen. So keep your hips right where they were when you were in a normal position. And you decide how far out to the side you go. Be honest with whether the hips are dropping. You should feel this a lot in your hamstrings and in your glutes. Okay, when your knees are in again, lower the heels and lower down to your back. Nice and slow. Oh Lordy. Okay, let's roll over to the side and move through a vinyasa. That's always harder than it seems like it should be. It looks so simple and innocent. Okay, so from down dog, we'll rock forward to plank and lower down to the belly. Savasana A, arms by the sides. Lift your chest, lift your legs. Lift your shoulders. Lift your heels, but keep your legs straight. Okay, let's come on down. Hands under the shoulders. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Rock forward to plank again. And again, we'll come down to the belly. We're going to make a pillow with our forearms so that your fingers are basically by your opposite elbow. So keeping your forehead there, just lift the right leg up and lower it down. Lift the left and lower it down. And just a few more times alternating. And the next time that your left leg comes down, we'll keep it down. We'll just lift the forearms and the head and chest up, and then lower that down. Do that a few times. So now we're pressing the pubic bone down pretty hard. We're pressing the toes down. Okay, the next time that you're down, we'll put the hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Take a breath. Let's come onto hands and knees. Come about like 2 feet away from your wall so that it's there if you need it, but you're not dependent on it. We are going to find a Pincha and we're just going to change the degree of bend that we have in our back. So I'll get my legs to touch, and I'm going to push my hips away from the wall as I look toward the wall. And then I'm going to lift my legs up higher toward the ceiling as I move my gaze more toward between the elbows. And I lost it because I looked a little too far. So just alternate at your pace and in your range, just to see what's it like to move the legs and the hips and the shoulders in response to each other. When you've had enough of such things, just lower the feet. We're going to come onto the shins and lay back in Virasana, Supta Virasana. I'm going to walk forward a little bit so that I don't wind up hiding behind the little pillar thing. And if Dvipada doesn't work for you, just do one leg at a time. So as we're here, we're trying to actually eliminate the back bend, which sounds counterintuitive, but think about your pubic bone lifting up and your mid-back moving down toward the floor. As soon as you do that, your thighs are going to get the stretch. Okay, let's start to rise up. Handle this vinyasa, or if you're tired, just step to downward dog. Okay, let's rock forward to plank and come down onto the belly. We'll prop up on the forearms. So this is Sphinx pose, and the shoulders are not near the ears. They're actually moving quite far away from the ears because we're lifting the chest so far off the ground. Let's bring the right forearm across the front of us so we can reach left hand to left foot. Backbend. Correct for Backbend. So one of the most common problems here is we get so focused on our quads that we forget to lift the chest. So keep pushing this right hand down. And let's change it out. Left forearm comes in front. Right hand reaches back for the inside edge of the foot. Thumb is near the big toe. And as the foot comes close to you, the hand can rotate so that the elbow points up. Okay, let's slowly release. Hands under the shoulders. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Shake out your head and neck. Okay. Let's come to our bellies again. We're going to skip Backbend for this moment and head to Dhanurasana. So let's reach for the outside edges of the ankles. Press your pubic bone down, lift everything else up. Possibly bring your toes to touch. Maybe the inner heel touches. And use the strength of the legs lifting up to help you get your chest to open. Almost like you're kicking your arms back. Okay, let's release. Lower the hands. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. So feel free to repeat that, or Kapotasana. We'll come onto our bellies again. You'll either reach for your ankles, or you'll reach your hands to the inside of your feet. Your heels will be pretty close to you. You'll get your hands to flip, and then you can press your feet down toward the floor outside of your hips. And let's release, hands over the shoulders. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Shake out the head and neck. Okay. Just to remind us that we have core. Let's come to hands and knees. We're going to come into Backbend A. Once we get up there, we'll change it to C. And we'll lower the legs to a strap. So let's interlace the fingers, head down, lift the legs up to your headstand. Once you get your legs up to where you want them to be, loosen the grip of your fingers and place your palms flat on the mat so that your forearms are parallel to one another. Then start to separate the legs and lower down into a strap. Keep your forearms as they are. Lift your legs up again into your Backbend C again. And from here, we're going to attempt to lift the head off the ground. So you'll need to shift your hips a little bit forward, your legs a little bit back, just so that you have a bit more shot at keeping the balance. And then we'll start to push into the thumb and pointer a little bit more, until maybe there's an inch or two underneath your head. And then lower the head if you want, or just lower the legs, and let's rest for a moment in child pose. And maybe rewind the video and try it a few more times. Because if you've never tried that before, it's not that likely that it works for you. But if you try it a few more times, it will work. Maybe for a few more years, then it will work. Okay, let's step back, vinyasa. And we'll play with that again in a little bit. Okay. So from down dog, let's come onto our knees. And we're going to find Ustrasana. I'm just checking in with the clock and such. Hours a ridiculous amount of time. So either glue your pelvis to the wall or not. We're going to lean our chest up and back to reach for our heels. If your pelvis is on the wall, you can just keep pushing it there. It's good feedback. And let's rise up and just rest for a moment with the toes curled under. And just notice how your heartbeat is pretty quick. Maybe you're sweating in a new way. That's normal. Backbends are pretty invigorating in that way. Okay, let's do the same thing. You can keep your hands on your hips if you want. You're going to nudge your pubic bone forward. Lift the chest up. Okay, let's rise up. I move my hands to prayer in order to rise up. I could not speak when I was doing it. Let's rest again, kneeling. Okay, so we're going to do the same exact headstand situation that you did before. If it was too much to switch from an interlace to a flat palm, you could just keep it interlaced or start flat, your choice. Sometimes it's nice to just play with changing the foundation. So, choose your hand position, either interlaced or flat palm, and lift your legs up to your headstand. Make sure that you know you're in your headstand. It's not just a transition place, it's like a legit, like take a breath or two. Then when you're ready, change your hands, palms flat, and start to separate your legs into a straddle. Eventually, your toes will touch down. Gravity will do it for you, even if you have no control. And then lift your legs up again. That's going to be a bit harder because you have to defy gravity. So you have to get your hips to move further over your forearms. Then once you're in your headstand again, squeeze your elbows in, press your thumb and pointer down, and attempt to get your head up. Savasana style. And then however you want, come on down, take your rest in your child's pose. Okay. And let's come onto our shins again. A little bit of Kapotasana prep. So arms out in front. Lean back. Rise up. Just one more time like that. Lean back. Your toes catch you. Rise up. Either keep doing that or arms by your sides. Lean back. Rise up. Again. Either keep doing that or hands to your ankles. Thumbs inside the ankle. Head down and then rise up. Head down and then rise up. And let's rest, kneeling. The blood goes. Okay, so we're going to take Ustrasana into Urdhva. I'm going to move forward because I don't know what kind of visual there will be in the space that I'm working with. So, toes curl under, weights on the knees, lift the arms, inhale, and then we start to reach back. The hips still press forward. And there will be a moment that you're sort of suspended in space. But if you keep reaching back and pushing into your feet, you wind up with Urdhva. We'll move the feet in a little bit, come onto the knees, rise up again. So we'll do that 2 more times. Feel free to just be on your back, lifting into Urdhva, or any of the other back bends we did. This really teaches us to be strong in the legs. That's what's going to get you all the way up. And the return trip is very much like the Kapotasana. So the hips have to keep moving forward. Okay. When you're ready, vinyasa. Let's find our tabletop. Then walk the knees back a bit. Anahatasana. Drop onto the chest. Okay. Walk the knees in again. So, Kapotasana time. I don't really want to show you on the wall because my sticky, dirty, sweaty hands will make fingerprints all over the wall. But remember how you were doing your Ustrasana? Your hands started on your hips and then maybe you reach for your feet. If you don't want to go to full Kapotasana, instead of reaching for your feet, reach for the wall behind you and try to push to get your arms straight. And you'd want to be at least this distance that I am from the wall, but you'd be facing the other way so that you actually have a shot at straightening your arms. Otherwise, you'll feel very claustrophobic. Those of you going Kapotasana, we're going to take it one step at a time. So first we reach up. We're going to go to B position first. So the toes are untucked and we reach back. And we put our hands on the floor. And then we walk it in a bit. We re-straighten the arms. Walk it in more until you can find your feet. Elbows down. Return to straight arms. Remember that pelvis forward feeling from Laghu Vadrasana. Push. To rise up. And let's rest again kneeling. Feel free to pause the video because that is not usually a pose that works the first time. In the Mysore room with Tim, I would usually do it 2 or 3 times and then he would come over to assist. Okay, let's vinyasa. This time we will start with our head off the ground in a forearm stand. And we'll play with letting the legs open and shut to the sides. So playing with the idea of a straddle. With the head off the ground. I had to fight together right up. That was fun. So once you feel like you're balanced, you'll open your legs either to max lift or maybe further, your choice. And breathe in again until you feel your inner thighs squeeze to each other. And the last time that you're doing this, we'll lower the feet all the way to the floor. And let's keep our legs wide, just lift your elbows so you're in sort of a down dog shape, but with crazy wide feet. Your arms would be a down dog shape. And just let your belly draw in. It's a nice way to release the back after crazy back bend. Let's walk the hands in, walk the feet in, bend the knees, and start to roll up very slowly. The chin will stay at the chest until the last moment. Set the clock. Yeah, zoops, the time goes quick. Okay, so eventually we wind up standing. Once you are standing, once you are standing, right ankle to lower left thigh, and just go for your standing pigeon to release your glutes a bit, because in all of those back bends, your glutes were working like mad. In a moment, we're going to come to a baby cradle shape. So to get there simply from here, you can lower your fingers, lower your butt toward your heel, walk your hands back, and you wind up with your butt close to your left heel. You don't have to get there that way. It's just one choice. If you're there and you're not falling around, interlace your fingers and hug your chest toward your shin. We're going to turn this into Ardha Matsyendrasana. Release your grip. Your left foot will come near your right hip so that the left knee faces front. Right foot will be outside of the left knee, and we hook our arm outside of the leg. And I don't know if this will be visible on a video, but I'm literally pushing this thigh to the left in order to make room for my arm. Otherwise, my twist will be kind of wimpy, and there'll be this big gap between the armpit and the thigh. If I can get that gap to close, I can reach the hand for the foot. And then the stretch for the right hip is a little bit bigger. Unravel, soles of the feet together, Backbend A, inhale. We have a straight line between the shin bones, roughly, and fold, exhale. And in essence, you're pulling your chest forward toward your feet. Inhale in. But alas, the clock is a ticking. So, soles of the feet down, knees and armpits connect, butt up. Let's just go Backbasana. Either jump back or tripod and then jump back. Your choice. I'm just going to jump back from here. Either way, we're going to meet up in a downward dog. Once you get to down dog, jump your feet to your hands so that you can find your standing pigeon left ankle to lower right thigh. Come down onto your butt. And even if you get down there a different way, you're just going to try to scoot your butt as close to your right heel as you can. Ooh, tight side. So I'm still going to try to wrap my arms around, even though it's a tight side. If I fall backwards, it won't hurt because I'm really close to the floor. And I won't get a bloody nose. There are some poses, if you fall out of it, it's not going to be pretty. This one, it won't matter. So long as there's no coffee table or animal behind you. Okay, let's release the grip. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Right knee is going to face forward. I'm going to take my left hand and push my left thigh to the right to make space for my right arm to come around. And I'll either keep the elbow bent or reach down for that left foot. And it's hard to know which is the right and left when you pose like this, because your left foot is on your right side. Unravel. Kapotasana. This time, let's go for B position, which is much harder than A. So same setup with the leg, but now we're going to aim the head to the feet instead of the chest to the feet. I like to dig my elbows into my guts a little bit here. It's a great stretch for the back, but then it's a bundle thing. So at some point when I want my head to actually touch, I have to move my elbows out of the way. Okay, now let's rise up, vinyasa at your leisure. Ooh. The time is an hour. So I did know that I was aiming for an hour. I'm leaving you on your own for Savasana. But let's fold over the legs, Kapotasana. You can always do this with bent knees. And since you're on your own for Savasana, you might as well do whatever other poses you want. Maybe more inversions. Maybe you want to rewind, do everything again. So I promised you an hour, so I'm going to stop the recording now. Thanks, y'all.